Hi, my name is Stephen Rafferty, and you're watching These Are Questions. This is the internet show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. Today's guest is a talented musician, songwriter, and singer. Please welcome Lex.
What's up?
What's up, Lex? Welcome to These Are Questions.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for being a part of the show. And let's get right into it. Before we get into the actual questions, I need to go over the rules of These Are Questions. Lex, I'm going to ask you a series of questions going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid. Do you accept those terms?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Let's do it. Lex, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Internet, are you ready? I see someone in the back.
Yeah.
Yes, you got the applause. There we go. Yes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna take that as a yes.
Solid.
Solid. You're solid. With that, let's begin. So, Lex, thank you again for being a part of These Are Questions. Greatly appreciate it there. I wanted to ask, how did you get into music? And what was one of the most interesting things about being a musician?
The last month of high school, I picked up guitar, and I tried to learn a song for a girl. I was in like chorus and stuff, and that's kind of how I started. And I picked up guitar. I enjoyed it, and then I just stuck with it. So I've been doing that for 7 years. I've been playing guitar, and
Wow.
I've stuck with it the whole time. I started learning piano, ukulele, other things. I started learning how to rap and sing. I've had friends inspire me to do different things. So like I started with just playing guitar, and then I started writing music. I just kind of like took one thing and ran with it, which is awesome. That's what we do as adults. We just grow. But to answer your second part of your question, my favorite thing is going out and meeting other people, like other musicians, and it's amazing. Like I haven't been out to a show in a while, but one of my favorite things is going to shows and just watching other people. It would inspire the hell out of me.
Gotcha. That's cool. You're seeing from everyone's different art forms and how they're doing their music, and it inspires you to create and make your own music. So you're learning from the best and learning from between. So that's pretty cool. And it's funny that you mentioned that you really, one of the most interesting things is just going to see live performances and seeing live music. At least my next question, and my next question is, can you go back to your first live performance and tell me what was the feeling like when you were performing for the first time?
I was super anxious, which never changed. You still get anxiety. Actually, what's funny is Lucas is the person who encouraged me to perform for the first time. I've known him since high school, and I only started music like right out of high school, and I didn't even really start like making music until recently. But he kind of heard me singing one time, and he was like, "Hey man, why don't you come out to one of my shows and perform?" And I was like, "I don't know, bro." The first song I ever did live was "Photograph" by Ed Sheeran to Lucas, and I was super anxious, but he was very encouraging. Like it was really amazing. I'm super lucky to have him as a friend, but he's the reason that I got into live music, and I never thought I'd do something like that.
Very cool, very cool. He's a great guy. We met through college, and we've got a chance to work on various projects. And I know he's doing great with his company, Intracoastal Entertainment. He was
Yes,
on
sir.
season 3's guest of These Are Questions, and he's a great guy. And I'm glad you were able to connect. I was glad to be able to motivate you to play your music, because I got a chance to listen to a lot of your stuff, and you got some great music there, and you do a lot of great
Thank
covers there. And this
Appreciate
also,
it.
you're welcome, and that also segues to my next question, is that I see that you do a lot of different song covers on your social media page at Lex the Boy. Great handle, by the way.
Thank
You're welcome. You're welcome. What was one of your favorite covers that you've done so far?
The most fun cover I've ever done was with Lucas. We did a Russ song called Psycho Part 2. And I just went over to his house one day. We didn't know what we were working on. We were just kind of messing around. We started writing a little music. We weren't really entirely feeling it, kind of liked it. He started singing it. We just started jamming, and then it turned into a cover. And that was honestly the most fun I've ever had doing a cover. And I think for that reason, that's my favorite cover. It's a really good memory for me.
That's cool. That's awesome. And it's better shared when you have great musicians working with you and playing with you. That's the best part of it, when all of you collectively are creating a vibe, creating a jam, and just having fun with it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's what music's about, connecting with other people having people hear what you have to offer, hearing what they have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's nothing like it. So that's very cool.
Hmm.
Leads to, well, it doesn't really lead to my next question, but I'm going to say my next question anyway. Lex, my next question is, can you tell me what the Pythagorean theorem is?
Pythagorean theorem,
Yes.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's that one side of a triangle is equal to the length of the two other sides of the triangle.
Okay, there you go. Good job. Good job.
Thank you, thank you.
That's the thing everyone knows about in school. We don't know how to do our taxes or pay for cars or anything like that, but we do know that theorem and how to do it. A squared plus B
Absolutely.
squared equals C squared.
We'll see
Yes.
squared. Yeah. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell, man. You know, we're
That's
just
that's right. That's right. Can I put that in my IRS statement? No, but I mean,
probably not.
well, only one way to find out. No, please, please, for those watching and listening, do
Please don't.
not put that in your tax report. I don't recommend that. So you knew about the theorem, which is good. But my next question is, do you know what the 5 Ds of dodgeball is?
I don't remember. I watched that when I was so young, but please intrigue me.
Okay, the 5 Ds of dodgeball, for those that are watching and listening, you may need to notice in life, I'm not sure, but the 5 Ds are duck, dip, dodge, dive, and dodge.
One more time.
Duck, dip, dodge, dive, and dodge. 5.
Was that dodge twice?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes. So, Lex, let me ask you, do you like games?
I do, actually.
Okay, cool. Do you like cheese?
Cheese? I
Yes.
love cheese.
Okay, great. Well, I have a game for you. It's a
Okay.
game called No Cheese, No Coin. The card game for people who like cheese and money.
Okay.
And
Okay.
shameless plug aside, for those that want to buy it, the link's in the description down below. Recommended. You know, I'm the one who made it. But shameless plug aside,
Nice.
we're going to play a game within the game. If you ever heard of like horoscope readings or tarot card readings, we're going to do something similar, but with some of the cards in the deck of this game. And we're going to determine what is your cheese type.
I've never wanted a personality test so bad.
I'm glad. Well, you're about to get one. You're about to get a cheesy personality test right now. Okay?
Oh.
So here we go. Shuffle it up for you. Gonna pull it out. I want you to pick the card that speaks to you. Let me just make it out. And you're gonna use this hand to tell me where to go. Where to go. Where to go.
Wait, can you, I'm not sure. Okay, okay. A little more to your right, toward the middle card. Yeah,
This
right
one
there, that's fine.
right here. Oh, I dropped cards.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your lucky day, my friend. You have drawn a coin card.
Ooh.
And what that means is that you've won this game in the sense that you've won a free copy of my card game, No Cheese, No Coin.
Sick.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, congrats. You picked the lucky
Oh,
card. You picked the lucky coin card. Good for you.
love that.
So I will send you the details and we'll get you shipped out with a copy of No Cheese, No Coin. I hope you enjoy it. And for those that actually want to purchase No Cheese, No Coin, it's available now on the Game Crafter website. Link is in the description down below. Please pay for it. I need food. Just saying, just saying.
I have a question for you though. How did you come
Sure.
up with that idea?
So, great question to ask. Long, super long cliff note story of my life. Originally, I started as a game programmer, making mobile games
No way.
and doing web development for video games and stuff. I was working for a company called Abysmal Essence. Long story short, I absolutely hated it. It was not for me. I didn't like the programming. It was just too difficult, too challenging. So I said, okay, I need to get out of the video game space. After I did my entertainment career, stand-up comedy career, doing acting, all kinds of stuff, 2.5 years ago, I started, doing a lot of game nights with friends and family. And I said to myself, maybe I can create a game, play around with some ideas. And two of my all-time favorite games were Uno and Exploding Kittens. And I said, okay, maybe we could make some variation between those two games and create something that I really like to enjoy. And through trial and error, trial and tribulations, and ideas going left and right, after 2.5 years earlier this year, in February, I released No Cheese, No Coin. And here we are.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. I like the your inspiration for the game. Did you say it was Exploding Kittens and Uno,
Yes. So
which are
if
both fantastic games?
thank you, thank you. Highly recommend them for people who have never played those games. Uno is pretty self-explanatory. Your goal is to get rid of your hand in order to get Uno, and when it gets to your last card, you say Uno, and then you win the game. Exploding Kitten, if you've never played it, for those who haven't played it, it's Russian roulette but with cats. So that's something there,
Hmm.
and I really like both those games. But my version is it's reverse Uno in the sense you need to collect as many coin cards, the card that you picked you want to collect as many coin cards as you can from the deck, but the challenge is that you have a time limit. You have 10 minutes per game. And on top of that, you have all these different cheese effect cards, the other cards in the game, that can help or hurt your chances. So it's a very fun, fast timing, quick timing card game designed for
Hmm.
smaller groups of players.
So I like that concept. It's good because a lot of card games and a lot of board games require multiple players. Like playing as two or three people sometimes isn't all that fun. So
Mm-hmm.
it's cool that it's designed for that specifically.
Yes, definitely. That's how I kind of base with it, you know. Like I wanted to make sure it's fun, it's a good party starter game, and it's good for friends that want to just get a lot of rounds in and play a lot of variations
Hmm.
of the game instead of doing one large game for a very long period of time. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to focus on short,
Yeah.
quick, fast timing. You can play multiple rounds, easy to play, fun to have strategy with, and fun for the family and
Hmm.
everyone that wants to play it. So, thank you for asking. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I
It's good
hope
that way. It raises the intensity to make it time limit, you know?
absolutely it makes it stressful, you know, in a way when you're playing it.
Yeah.
You will experience it when you get your copy and you play it with your friends. You'd be like, wow, this game is something there once you get into it. So I do
Yeah. Of
appreciate you asking that question. But here on These Are
course.
Questions, I'm the one that asks you the questions, and I want to ask you some more questions here. Um, my
Absolutely.
next question I want to ask is, have you ever had boba tea?
Boba tea. Absolutely. I love boba tea.
You like boba tea? What's your favorite boba tea flavor?
I usually like um honeydew,
Oh,
actually.
Honeydew's pretty good. Underrated one. I
Mm.
like their Thai. They have a Thai milk boba tea that's really good, or I like their taro
Yes, Thai
tea.
milk tea is good.
Thai milk
You
tea
ever
is
had rose tea?
I have good, solid. Not my
Yeah.
favorite, but I like
Yeah.
it.
Do you like the tapioca pearls or do you like the jellies?
I prefer the jellies,
Mm.
but I like both. I like both. I like both. Don't get me wrong. I like both.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
You
be
know what?
like,
I
no, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I like the jellies. I like the jellies a lot because the tapioca pearls, it feels like they just never end. Like you just keep getting them in the straw,
Yeah.
you know?
So and sometimes they get stuck in the straw too, which is kind of like, oh, I'm like, I kind of prefer the jellies there because sometimes the pearls just get stuck in your straw and you're like, oh, I can't drink this now. So you have to really go
Yeah.
into it. But that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
That's
the
cool.
worst, man.
It is. It is. It absolutely is. But I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like boba tea. I'm glad you had it. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's
I have
good.
one more question for you. I'm sorry, I know you're asking the questions, but
Go right ahead.
what's your favorite flavor of jelly?
Ooh, guava jelly.
Guava. Ooh, I haven't had that.
It's good.
That
It's
sounds
good.
good.
If you go to like a local store, in the South Beach region, if you go to like a Winn Dixie or there's a store called Sedano's, they have guava jelly. You can
Mm.
also go to like Walmart and stuff and pick it up, but they have the guava jelly in like the can and stuff. But then they have the ones you slice and you slice like strips of guava jelly.
Mm.
They're harder to find and a little bit more expensive because they're usually from out of the country. They're from different regions and stuff. But if you could find that, that's very good.
That sounds really good, actually.
So I recommend after this interview, go to your local store and get some
Yeah.
guava jelly.
You see it on my Instagram story. Hey, I got some.
Absolutely. And then tag us here on These Are Questions. So going back to your music though, you know,
Mm.
you've done a lot in your music and I know you want to do more with it as you continue on with your potential music career, which is great. You know, I wanted to ask, where do you want to take your music moving forward into the future?
Um, so this is something that I've been sort of in conflict with recently or in the past few months. So something I did was I used to just sit in my room and play guitar. My dad one day came up to me and I'm always in my room just playing covers and he's like, "Why don't you just start recording, putting it on social media because you're doing it anyway. You know what I mean? Share it." And I started doing that. And then the thing with that is with social media, you get addicted to the feeling of people seeing your stuff, of the likes, of the views, of the validation, in a sense, even if you're not consciously doing it. Um, and I kind of wanted to stray away from that because that's not why I make music. I record music. I have a producer, one of my good friends, and I record with him pretty frequently. And I'm trying to record music to possibly create a concept like an album, or maybe even release a few singles beforehand. And I had someone ask me recently, or actually like a year ago, if I would ever sign to a label. And to be honest with you, like with that question, I don't think that I would. I would definitely have to read a lot into a contract if I sign with a label, but I don't want my art controlled in any way, shape, or form. I'm not making music because I want money. I have, I work, I make money, and I don't. Money's not super important to me. It's not everything. Moving into the future, I want to write my music. I want to put my music out there. There's ways to distribute it without a label now. You can use DistroKid. There's a few other platforms, and I think that I'm just gonna do that and just you know keep making the music the way I want to make it, and maybe someone will recognize it, and I'll get it something good my way.
Okay. Well, I absolutely understand where you're coming from in that sense. And I think one benefit now is that the term independent music artist is now more apparent than ever because now with the
Mm,
rise of social media and all these different platforms, and then platforms specifically for music creators is more than readily available where you don't need to sign for a label. You just need to promote it online and you have a great opportunity to get a lot of different fans and a lot of great fans there, and
yep.
you can go really big there. I know one artist in particular, her name is Elise Tro. She's a wonderful multi-instrumentalist and
Mm,
singer. She started just doing loop covers of various bands and artists. And she just got really, really big to the point now she has somewhat of a label to my knowledge, and don't 100% quote me. I would have to look it
mm,
up. I know she's with a team
yeah.
now, but she went from just doing regular videos, posting it online, and then to the point where now she's doing covers with like Travis Barker and doing work with Jimmy
Amazing.
Kimmel and like just making this big massive star. And it's nothing
Yeah.
short of amazing. And I haven't had a chance to directly work with her at the moment, but we've done some little stuff. That she's given me the chance to do some audio looping for one of my stand-up specials that I did a couple years ago. So she's
Mm,
been really great in that sense, and hopefully we have a chance to work in the future there. But I just to show that like you just need an audience and a platform, and you never
yeah.
know where it could take you, and you don't need to necessarily have a label anymore. You could just be the literal independent music artist that makes music that comes from your soul, that is
Mm.
not controlled by any agency or any company necessarily, and you're just releasing this music because you want to release it and that you're passionate with the music that you're releasing with.
Two of my favorite artists came up independently. Actually, three of them. Chance the Rapper is one of them.
Yep.
He came up independent. I don't even know if he signed to a label at all. Still, a lot of his
Oh,
streams are online. There's also Russ. Russ is posting on Instagram all the time about how he's an independent artist. He just spent like $1 million on a music video with Ed Sheeran, which is incredible. Like you're working with a world renowned artist and making a music video with your own money, which is incredible to me. And Logic as well. He came up independent. He wound up signing eventually. It's amazing that we can do that nowadays.
it's easier than ever, and you're already starting to kind of do that already. And hopefully, you make more and more music. You do. I hope you do that album idea or do some form of an EP and just getting your stuff out there because you just never know who's going to listen to it, and you just need
Yeah,
one connection, one thing that can make a ton of things happen. So, um,
yeah.
I wish you the best in that sense. And it leads to my next question as well. What's the one thing that you wish you knew when you started that you would like to give as advice to those that are up and coming musicians?
Um, that's a tough one. To be honest with you, it's I've struggled with in the past, especially with live performances. I told you I get anxious when I perform, and it's not consciously something that I do. Like I don't sit there and think about what people are thinking of me. But I would say like if something that's really hard for people is performing, and if you're scared to do it, just do it. You know that as a comedian, as an actor, I'm scared to do it. I'm very lucky to have Lucas who coaxed me into it, and I stuck with it, and it's still like really hard for me. But if I want to do it again, I will, and I know that I'm capable of it because I've done it before. And if you're scared to do anything, you're capable of it. So don't be afraid.
Mm-hmm. Great advice there. Sometimes you just got to start, dive yourself in the deep water, and just see what happens. So um,
Yeah.
that's great advice right there. And with that, we are at the last question for These Are Questions. And I just have one more question to ask you. And that question is this: if you had to make a sculpture of anything, anything you want, what would it be And who would you make that sculpture with?
Hmm, that's a really good question. I
Thank
think
you.
yeah. So when I was growing up, my brother and I played Pokemon on our Game Boys. We had Game Boy Advances. I had Ruby and he had Sapphire. I don't know if you're familiar with Pokemon. Are
A
you?
little bit. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know some
Okay.
stuff.
I know
Okay.
you're a gamer, so okay. So I like Mudkip. He's a really
Okay.
cute like water type Pokemon, and that would be something prevalent in my childhood. I would love to make that. And he had this one called Torchic that he really liked. It was like a fire type, so we were like complete opposites.
Okay. Okay, cool. You can make the sculptures together. You make your Mudkip, he makes this Torchic, you have
Yeah.
Pokemon sculpture, and then you could
Yeah.
fight it. You could fight the sculptures.
Can I ask you the same question if that's all right?
Sure, sure. If I had to make a sculpture of anything, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a SpongeBob fan, but there's an
I
episode
love
where
SpongeBob.
good. There's the episode where Squidward is making like his masterpiece or whatever, and like it's really, really
Yeah.
bad, and then SpongeBob is just like playing around, messing with it, and he's making like the greatest sculpture ever. I would like to make the Squidward version of that sculpture, and
Yeah.
since it's SpongeBob, I have a friend of mine who's actually the graphic designer for No Cheese No Coin. Selena, her name is Selena. I would do
Oh,
that sculpture specifically with her because she would get a kick about me trying to make this sculpture and bastardizing it. So it would be a fun time with that, and I think we both will be professional artists with the end of that sculpture. So
that
that's what
that
I would.
honestly is a great idea. I love that idea.
We're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna learn how to make a sculpture, and I'm gonna make Squidward sculpture here and see what
I'm counting
happens.
on that.
I hope
You
so.
know
I
they
don't.
they sell the painting from the episode Bold and Brash. Do you remember that?
I actually have it.
Is it in your place right now?
It's not in my specific room, but I have it in the
No.
the space that I live, and I'll put a
Dude,
picture up on the screen. But yes, I
I
do
love it.
have that painting there. I got it at a yard sale a couple years ago, and yep,
A yard sale?
yep. I got it at a
Yo,
yard
you went to
sale.
the coolest house in the country. What?
I know that the person sold it to me and was like, "Yeah, this was from my uncle, and he didn't know what this was, and I don't really want it, so you can have
Yeah.
it for like $13." And I was like, "Absolutely." It's funny too. I sent that to Selena as a text message, and she was like, "Oh my God, where did you get this? How did you get this?" I was like,
Yo, that's awesome. I love that.
So there you go, there you go. Um, Good questions. You should take my job as interviewer at this point. Here, you can have it. Just
All I did was just copy what you did. That's all. You
that's
know.
what everyone does.
I
It
just
works.
I'm curious. Like you asked me a question, and I'm like, I wonder what his is. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. And there you go. You got your answers. So it works. It works
yeah.
out.
I liked your answer too. That was a good answer. Very relatable. A lot of people love SpongeBob.
Yes. People like the sponge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that, we are at the end of our These Are Questions interview. Lex, it was a pleasure speaking with you on These Are Questions. Really do appreciate it. But now the floor is yours. Anything you want to say, anything you want to promote, anything you want to do before we end off this episode of These Are Questions, the internet is now yours.
Thank you, brother. Say this has been really fun. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. You obviously know what you're doing, and I like this concept. I would ask you, how you came up with this concept, maybe at a later time. I should be releasing music, hopefully, uh, close to a month or so. So look out for that on my Instagram. I'll have a link to it. And that's basically it. I'll just be working on my music, doing my thing. Maybe I'll post some more covers. Maybe I won't. But the music's definitely coming.
All
That's for
right.
sure. And thank you again for having me, bro.
Oh, my pleasure. It was a pleasure speaking with you today, Lex. I really do appreciate it there, and I wish you the best of luck in your continual music career. And with that, for those that are watching and listening, we do appreciate you here on These Are Questions, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to wherever you get your podcast. Do appreciate it. All my information, where you can get No Cheese, No Coin, and all of Lex's information and medias will all be in the descriptions down below. And with that, you have been watching / listening to These Are Questions. Good night, everyone.
Peace.
Pieces. Deuces.